Good evening. This is the Newfane Selectboard meeting, originally scheduled for Monday, and because of the weather conditions, we postponed it until tonight. So it is Tuesday, April 17th, 2018. We have Mike Fitzpatrick here, Chris Williams, Shelley Huber, Gary Delius, I'm Marion Dowling, and we have the Select Board Administrative Assistant, Shannon Meadows. So I'm calling the meeting to
And
order.
the highway foreman.
Excuse me?
And the highway foreman.
And the highway foreman, right? Are there any additions or amendments to the agenda?
I just have one. The scheduled member of the public couldn't make it tonight, so he has rescheduled for a later meeting.
Okay.
I don't think there's anything you need to do. I was just letting you know.
Okay. So that's the, the Wiilliamsville traffic. So
No,
that,
Wiilliamsville Hall Committee.
I mean the Wiilliamsville Hall Committee, sorry.
Mhm.
Yeah, so that's going to be rescheduled.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Okay. So next item on the agenda is the minutes. Okay, thank you.
I'll second it.
Great. Any discussion or questions? Okay, all those in favor of accepting the minutes from April 2nd, please say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed, say nay. Okay, the ayes have it, and the minutes are accepted. The next item under minutes is the April 9th special meeting. And if anybody wants to make a motion to accept that, please do.
I'll make a motion to accept it.
Okay, thank you, Chris. Any second?
I have to abstain for not being in attendance at that meeting.
Okay,
I'll second it.
okay, great. Any discussion or comments about the minute? Okay, all those in favor of accepting, please say aye.
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 All those opposed, say nay. Okay, we've
Abstain one.
accepted the special meeting minutes. So, next item on the agenda is road business. And we have road foreman's and road commissioner's report. And Jay Wilson, can you read that to us, please?
Sure. The Wiilliamsville Hall well was redone and a new pump installed, which you probably have the bill for. We have some topsoil work and seeding to do when the weather is nicer. We had replaced a circulator for the kitchen zone, and we'll have at some point a more detailed recommendation on additional repairs for the heating system in there. The furnace at the town garage is clean and brought up to code. The original building wiring was corrected, so now the firematic over top of the furnace works and the emergency switch works. The oil line was changed and stainless steel flex line was added to the burner for easier cleaning, so it's kind of neatened up in there. And it just happened to happen a day or so before the insurance inspector came around.
Always good.
Yes. So I took him to the Wiilliamsville Hall, the old town garage, and our town garage, and he went through, took pictures, and made notes, and measured, and so forth. The F550 Ford had to be towed today to Faith Ford for an emissions problem. I would suspect it'll be covered under warranty, but we have to cover the towing. The windstorm a couple of weeks ago caused significant damage. I did a quick figure, but I would estimate with labor and equipment it would cost between $5,000 and $6,000 to clean up the trees. So it was quite a mess.
Was that in addition to the regular hours or something? Or just
No.
was that extra hours?
No, that was just including everything. Just,
okay.
yeah.
Well, thank you so much for taking care of Wiilliamsville Hall. I know that was a surprise. We weren't expecting that, but I'm sure they're very appreciative that it was done so quickly.
The water should work a lot better now.
Yeah.
It's the pump's raised up and they found where some of the silt was running into it, and I think it'll be better.
Well, thanks a lot. Okay. Anybody want to make a motion to accept it? Good?
Second.
Great. Any discussion,
Give it a shot.
questions? Any comments about it? Okay, all those in favor of accepting the foreman's report, please say aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Any opposed, say nay. Okay, the ayes have it, and the road foreman and road commissioner's report is accepted. Next is truck bids and award. So Jay,
Okay. So we've gone through both specs that we've received back. The 2019 Mack with trade-in and all the warranties came in at 170, 138. The 2019 Western Star with trade-in and all warranties came in at 161, 404, which is a difference of 87.34. So Mac included buyback figures. At 7 years, they would give us $52,276 for this truck. And at 10 years, they would give us $38,109. The most we've ever gotten for a trade-in is $16,000. So the Macs are worth considerably more than most of the trucks around. So ultimately, that would make the Mac a cheaper choice.
Did you ask Western Star though, if they've done buybacks? He told me like it'd be like 70,000 on buyback.
At 10 years?
At 7 years, whatever it was. Didn't you say 7 years?
7 years.
From 38 to 10.
Stratton's trying to get, well, for close to a month now, I've been trying to get a figure from him. He hasn't given it to him. So I called another Western Star dealer, and they said they're hesitant to give out a buyback figure because this model is too new, and they don't have any history for it.
Yeah, that's just what he said, but like I said, you know, that is one of the same outfit anyways. You know?
Yep. But historically, the Macs sell for more money. I went through Truck Trader, a bunch of different things, and they generally give you better trade-in for them. Yeah.
I didn't like on the Western Star. They obviously don't know how to put a bid out, because they put in for a tandem,
Right.
and then the specs
Or for a single.
for a single axle. So they didn't even do
And
the
the pricing.
Well,
Foreman.
you know, I said I kind of hate to brought it up, but I think it will, once we're all picking apart things. And then this whole thing like this whole way this was bid, they were told right in the beginning it was gonna be a Mack. And they're both the same outfit, and the prices pretty much were told to figure out the same. And the price on the payoffs on the truck was only $15,000 as a trade-in. Because they're all in the same, they pretty much knew it was gonna be a Mack truck no matter what. Because that's what it was told right off the get-go, that you guys wanted a Mack truck.
I don't know.
And, well, that's what I've heard right from the thing, and the prices are almost identical because it was pretty much thrown out there that they want a Mack, so it's all gonna come in at this. It's all gonna be $15,000. I was told the
That
truck,
shouldn't affect Western Star. I mean, he should have, yeah.
they're the same outfit though. But the whole thing is, the 15,000, you know, he told me that truck should have been 25, 30 on the Sterling. He said he could sell that tomorrow for $35,000, just like that. And for one thing, I wouldn't trade it for 15,000 if it was me. I'd try to put it out to bid, or either do that or put it on Craigslist to try to sell it. I mean, you know you're gonna get 25. Is that with the plows and everything too, or?
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't, guys can't buy a pickup for that, you know, I mean, and he said it was kept good, he said the truck's been kept in good shape and everything else, you know?
But we've never been able to get more than that for a truck. This is the third one we've traded. They've all been 15,000, 16,000.
Yeah, but trading is probably not the best thing. Maybe
Right.
putting it out and selling it will get you a higher, return.
But at the end of 10 years, the trucks are, they've reached their end of useful life, at least for town use.
Yeah.
So sometimes you're grateful to get 15,000 out of them to get rid of them. And I don't believe, I mean, we've got 3 Macs. They've been good, solid trucks. No emissions problems whatsoever. When I called other towns, the one common thing that everybody had some issues with, whether it was International, Western Star, Freightliner, was they all had emissions problems. And they were constantly running back. And we don't want that again. We've got a Sterling that has that.
Is that what the problem is emissions mostly?
Yep.
Well, I checked with Dummerston and all in, and they all seem like the Western Stars too, you know, I mean, they got that Detroit engine in it and everything, so. I mean,
Dover had 2 Western Stars and they switched back to Max. They just ordered a second Mac now.
yeah, but that was because some of the board members didn't know nothing but the Max, from what I was told and from what Bobby said. And there was a few
He
things
told
put
me
into
he wanted
that.
to go back to the Max, so.
I mean, we'd had a Western Star last time, they put a single frame in it. That's what Todd Young, right, we had done it, and now they've got the single frame, this met the right specs, didn't it?
No, I don't know what it is, but there's a liner put in for at the front axle on this frame, on the Western Star. So, and Western Star for some reason puts the batteries in the cab, under the passenger seat.
Huh?
And we've had 2 different trucks that the batteries have shorted out and overheated. And having them in the cab is not acceptable. By having them outside, we have a box, we open it up, we can disconnect them quickly. That was one of the other things I saw in the specs that didn't look very appealing. He brought a Western Star over a year and a half ago and we tried it. But he brought a tandem with an automatic, so it was hard to get a feel for it. So we ran around and looked at a couple of other trucks. We looked at Dummerston's and looked at one Stratton had. You know, I'm sure there's nothing wrong with it, but right now we have parts that fit all 3 of them. And the same thing goes for the new one. The filters are the same, you know, the blower motor for the heater is the same. So you're not getting into a whole nother stocking completely different parts for it.
So by adding this one, you would then have 4
All the
Macs.
same, yeah.
Is a copy of these bids in our packet here?
No.
He's got it.
Okay.
Do you have copies?
No, there's too much there.
I mean, after 10 years, you said the trade value on the truck was going to be how much?
38,109.
After 10 years. And so the truck right now, the Sterling, is 10 years old, and we're looking at a $15,000 trade-in.
Yep, and last year the Sterling was 16,000.
Well, what I recommend is, I'd like to look over the specs a little bit until the next meeting, but I'd also like to get that buyback off them guys too, as we ask Max. What they're gonna pay in 7 and 10 still. Because the whole thing is, like I said, the bid's a bid. I mean, it's $80-some cheaper. We've done this to them 2 or 3 times. And last time, like I said, the whole thing was, they couldn't come up with a single frame in the truck, supposedly. And that's why they went with it. I mean, none of the trucks are any good anymore, the new ones.
Yeah.
They all work just as well as any of the rest of them, and,
I don't believe that's true.
well, it is true.
You can see it with some of the trucks. They're constantly in the shop.
Personally, I'd like to keep them all the same.
As far as the filter goes, I mean, you get one of them right from Snell's any day you want the damn filter, they'll deliver one, won't they? I mean, why do we ask people to bid on if we all just want the max?
It made sense as far as to get the most value for the taxpayers to go with another one. We did look into it. We tried to get Kenworth to bid on it. They decided not to, I guess.
But like I said, I was told right from day one when this thing all went out that it was gonna be a Mac, and that's just the way this was all bid between the Western Star and that, because it was all the same outfit. That's why they only get 15,000, each bid come in almost identical. They wanted to keep the price up because you chose whatever one you want.
So I'm considering what Mike said about holding off until we all have a copy of everything. Were you expecting this to be approved tonight?
Well, we got behind because someone came up with the idea that we had to put the bid out for 30 days and we didn't.
Right, I remember Right.
And so we're already so far behind that the odds of getting it in time for plowing are slim. So that means starting out the winter with the sterling, which isn't a good idea. So the sooner we do it, the better. You know, it takes a fair amount of time for the body company to get everything in, and they get busier. You know, they were not as busy back a few weeks ago. Now things are starting to happen. So
They have to build this truck, like the whole components together.
everything.
Shannon, if we held off until everybody could see the bids and read it, could we have a special meeting before 2 weeks because if Jay's saying that's time that he would like to get this done as soon as possible?
Yeah, you certainly can.
It's an order to the manufacturer, correct? It's to be built.
Right, but the body company has to, they've got the parts ordered already because we went with the same body. It doesn't matter whose truck goes on.
I see.
But the body is, start to finish is probably 3 months after they get the truck, and then it's a matter of scheduling it in. So it can take a while.
Where is that happening? Is it locally or?
They're in Barry, the people that put the body on.
Okay.
Do you want a motion to table this?
Oh, I think it's okay to check it over. We're gonna compare everything to everything. I'd like to see it, and I'd also like to see the buyback on the other one. I mean, that's what I'm trying to sell it on right now, is a buyback.
Yeah. Do you want me to have this folder or?
Give it to Shannon and she can make copies.
Actually, our copier's down, so that's gonna be a problem.
And it's like on the body even, like on them, is it the Viking or something bodies that, they put, I was talking to Dummerston down there, and they had the Timco body
Yeah.
before. And they went with the other one because they said they're twice as rugged. And I know I've got a Timco on mine, and they're not very rugged bodies, you know?
They fixed the problem that Dummerston had with it by changing the stainless steel posts and stuff. They had trouble with rusting.
Can you just simplify this right now and talk about the bottom line now of this? Because is this basically an issue of wanting to get a truck for the cheapest price, or is this also an issue of getting the best, whatever the price is? The best in terms of reliability. What is the bottom line?
Because of reliability. All the crew thinks that. But ultimately, upfront cost is $8,700 more. Over the course of the truck, I think you'll find it'll end up being cheaper than the other ones.
So we have to take the lowest qualified bid.
You are not.
No, we do
obligated
not
do
have to.
No.
Was that put in the specification?
Yes.
Okay.
It always says that the town of Newfane reserves the right to accept any bid that's in the best interest.
Okay.
Yeah, you wouldn't just want to take the
You're never
lowest bid, you want, this is
Well,
my.
state purchasing has,
What?
state purchasing has other ideas about, what is in the best interest of the taxpayer.
Yeah,
And they're
but
saying
doesn't
that
that include, not just the lowest price, but an overall view of the product you're buying, that it's more reliable or less reliable?
That's why you want to set it up for the lowest qualified bid. And
Oh, so
the
then qualified
specifications
includes,
includes all the things you're
yeah,
looking for.
so that's
But
what I
what are
was
all
saying.
your decision points? Then whoever comes in at the lowest price there, that's the person that, according to state purchasing law,
Well, no, it's not. We have our own purchasing policy, which right
Yeah.
in it states that you are not obligated to take the lowest bid.
Yeah.
The state of Vermont, when it's grant money, then they say you have to take the lowest bid because they're the state of Vermont. But if you're not using state grant money, you do not need to.
Yeah, because it says right here. The town of Newfane, Vermont reserves the right to reject any or all bids or to accept the bid deemed to be in the best interest of the town of Newfane, as well as to waive any informalities.
Yeah, it doesn't say that we have to
That's on the
take the lowest bid. I would be upset if we haven't taken, if that's the only way we're going to
Oh, this is
choose
so
a
much the
product.
lowest bid is, like I said, this guy, one of the guys from Patriot actually called me. He didn't call me, he actually called somebody else in town. And they was talking to me, so I got to tell him about the whole right off the bid thing. And told him that the town of Newfane, they wanted him to put a bid in on the truck, but they were already told that it was gonna be a mat. And so he wanted to know, he didn't want to waste his time putting bids in, doing this and the whole 9 yards. And I told him, I said, well, if you've got everything that's supposed to be in there for the truck, it meets all the standards and everything else, you're a little better, we're gonna consider your bid. Because he wasn't gonna put a bid in on it. Because they already told it was gonna be a Mac. He said, I'm not, he said, it takes a lot of time to put this thing together, you know?
Oh,
We
yeah.
never told him that.
Huh?
We never told him that.
Where
We
did he
came
get
over
that?
and looked at the truck, and we talked to him
No,
about
he
it.
didn't tell him. It was one of the other outfits that was looking at the bodies and stuff. They came from over here though, and told them that they were.
I should have helped him tell him that, 'cause I didn't talk to anybody.
Well, no, I don't believe he dreamt it up, but somebody's told him. And I said that the whole thing is, I just like to see the specs on it. Now this, I wanted, I mean, I know damn well the truck's a good truck, no matter what. Mac's a good truck.
We spec'd it out, so either of them could bid with the, we didn't want a Cummins and we didn't want an International. So we spec'd it out so, they could bid with either Detroit or a
Right.
Mack engine. So we made it so that either of them could bid that way.
Right, so as I say, then these guys came in 8,700 cheaper. I mean, you didn't want international, so we didn't even ask international. And you went with the two that you wanted to, and then we're not accepting it again.
Well, I don't know anything about,
And then, like I said, then tonight we have a buy-it back on the Mac, which we didn't even ask the other outfit.
I didn't ask for one out here, he included it in the bid. And I did try, to call and get one from Western Star, and the answer I got was, the chassis, it was too new, they don't have 10 years of history, and they didn't want to do a buyback.
Right there.
Well, I think, like I said, I'd like to check it out, and then the next month we'll decide.
Motion to table until a time certain. Your next meeting is what, the
should
6th?
we call a meeting before
May 7th.
May
May
7th.
7th? If this is something that you need to do pretty quickly, or can you wait 2 weeks?
That's why we wanted to get it done
It's almost
tonight,
3 weeks.
so we could get it ordered.
So, what's the date?
I don't know. I'll look it up.
Have another meeting next week.
Your?
Monday, Monday the
23rd.
23rd.
Yep.
You want to have a short meeting Monday the 23rd? Shannon, does that work for you? 6
So what
o'clock
should we be
meeting?
looking for?
I'm sorry?
What should we be looking for?
Okay, we're tabling till a time certain
Yeah,
for April 23rd.
April 23rd at 6 PM.
Yep.
So short meeting just for this.
Right. Well, we've done it before.
but what are we looking for as far as in comparison? We're gonna just look at there were 2 bids that were presented, right?
Well, the bid that you were just reading where you had asked for the copy and we don't have it. Is that what you want? That was up to
There were
you,
2,
Chris,
right?
to wait a week.
I don't care.
Yes, you do. No, tell
Well,
me
you-
what,
Well,
look,
you got someone
everybody.
at the end of the table who buys a lot of trucks. I think it'd be
Well,
worthwhile.
so does he.
I know, but I mean, I think it'd be worthwhile that these 2 guys take a good close look at this and feed back to us on the 23rd about
Right.
what their recommendations are along with
We
what
can try to
Jay's.
get a buyback from them, it would have to be in writing, so that they can't back out of it in 10 years, because we have it in writing on the other one.
It would need to be right.
Right.
Yes.
I mean, it's called it, you do like the Western Stars, they're a lot closer to, for service than a Mac. I've also heard that McDevitt was selling off Mac out of Manchester. So I mean, then where do you go? I mean, State Line's just
They're
they're not a real dealer, they're just a repair place.
right, but they're a warranty repair place, so.
That's an hour and a half from here. I don't know.
You got a motion to table, you got a
I just don't
second.
know why we even ask people if we're not gonna, if they're low bidders, they don't even look at it and accept it, right?
Well, I don't know about that because I have no idea if, I mean,
Well, if they're good enough to ask, I mean, if you're asking them, that's the trucks you wanna choose from, and then you don't accept it, it's,
So you need a second, so we can
No,
go
I
ahead
know,
and
I just-
continue the
yeah.
discussion. to vote.
Okay.
Okay, I make a second that we,
okay, so, any just,
23rd.
so we can continue the discussion then?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I think we're gonna have to know what we're looking for, very clearly, and not just the lowest bid, but, I mean,
availability,
but,
the availability,
okay,
purchase back, as long as we're looking
Purchase
at
back,
that.
availability.
purchase back.
You say availability as far as like, time to get to us or,
And we can take delivery on it.
yeah, delivery, okay.
Well, I want to be on record as saying that I want to see the bid with the lowest qualifying bid. That's in the best interest of the taxpayers. That's what the state law is based on. That's what
But
I
Shannon
want
is
to see.
saying no.
That may be what Shannon says about our purchasing law, but I think when you're talking about a purchase of this size, it deserves to be the lowest qualified bid.
But if we, I know, but are you saying that we should go against the law that Newfane has right now, the agreement?
No,
We've got one right now that was a low bid, a Sterling.
Yeah,
It's been
but-
nothing but a piece of
it's
junk.
been a piece of junk. But I don't know what
Qualified.
what's the specs
And I also
or the
think we ought to
qualification was
put that
written
out to either bid or for sale to Sterling.
for. Yeah.
Yeah.
So if Shannon has told us that Newfane deals with things differently, that it is not the law, that we have to go, yes, you're saying lowest qualified, well, that does include reliability, availability,
It includes all the
The rec-
things that were in your specification.
yeah, but,
I don't think
That's
that
how
matters, Marion, right
I'm sorry,
and
now. That
what?
doesn't matter.
Yeah, so I have
We've
a
already had the
question, wasn't,
decision at the board what we wanted to look at, and
Yeah.
No, I understand that, but then Gary was saying that, that you want to add to the motion that it would be the lowest
Qualified bid.
wasn't there a bid that we were looking for either a single or double axle and they didn't meet it?
Yes,
That was it.
Western Star put in the tandem,
Okay.
but
And the
Really-
material pressure, sinuous.
then somewhere in there, he also said that it's capable of carrying 80,000 pounds, and then all of a sudden it switches to a single axle bid. So it's
Not
kind of mixed
clear.
up.
Yeah, it's not clear.
So we're looking for essentially what's a BAFO, best and final offer.
What's that?
Are you gonna go back out to all the bidders, or are you just gonna go back out to these
I-
two?
Need to get a buyback from Western Star.
Okay.
there was only two bidders, isn't it?
Yeah,
And Kenworth had called and they were planning on bidding, and then they, for some reason, they'd stopped, but, because they had asked a couple of questions and said we'd see a bid, and that was it. We never heard from them again.
So if it wasn't meeting the bid, it's not a qualified, bid, if it's a,
oh, no, if we didn't submit one, it's not a qualified.
no, I'm talking about the single versus double. What was it that we
Can
were
you,
looking for, a
can you
single?
speak so everybody hears?
Okay, is it a
Did you
single
pick-
that we're looking for?
We're looking for a single axle.
Yes, and they came in with a double.
He wrote that in his cover letter, that it was a tandem axle truck.
Okay.
But then further back in the specs, there's only one axle. So it kind of went back and forth.
So we need clarification on that.
Well, I looked, the specs are ultimately only a single axle. But he wrote in his letter with the price that it was a tandem, and it really isn't. Because the price I checked with Stratton and the price is very similar to what they're paying for a single axle, so.
Maybe it's a double axle, they just ship you the second axle, you can put it on when you want it. But I think that does need to be clarified.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, it needs to be clarified.
Now, wait a minute. They sent that in, it doesn't need to be clarified.
Well,
They're the ones that sent the paper to us.
but in the
Wait, wait,
description,
let her finish. Go ahead.
Well, they sent it to us like that. Why do they have to change it now? Why do we have to have their bid changed?
Well, we're not changing it.
No, we're
Because it said in
asking
the specs, it said a single axle.
they put a double axle in their description, and then further back, they put a single axle.
If it had been
So
a
they
tandem,
did-
it'd have been another $15,000-$20,000 more money anyways.
They just need to say, pay no attention to what we put into the script, or
the cover
it's a
letter.
single axle.
The only thing we're looking for is I want to see what they're gonna give you for buybacks. I mean, that's what, the only thing they don't have that Mac has, and we didn't ask for buyback, did we anyway, so I mean, I just want to see what they're gonna put down at that. You know, that's one of the things, and I mean, they're a low bidder, if they've got everything on that thing right down the whole list, what that's supposed to be for a truck.
Well, the only thing I gotta say about that particular breed of truck, I hope it's built better than one of the other towns that have one. When you got a load of gravel on it, it sits just like that, doesn't have springs enough to hold the gravel up.
What you specify for springs in it. It's got all the right springs and everything, should that be what you need, right?
Should be.
We're talking about stuff that we haven't even seen yet. We haven't even seen the specs.
Okay, so we have a motion. You want to repeat the motion?
Motion is to table discussion of the truck until a special meeting on
April
April
23rd.
23rd.
6 o'clock.
Or whenever. I mean, you may be able to get it together in the afternoon. It's just this one.
Well, it
piece of
depends
business.
because they
Well,
work.
I need to warn it now because I'm not gonna be here.
I'm
for the
sorry,
rest-
what?
I will have to warn it tonight because I'm not gonna be here for the rest of
Why don't we
this week.
just have it in earlier in the
So I
afternoon?
need to know
so
when
she
you're gonna
knows
do
that-
it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
No, Shannon needs to know the time because she's going away. And she-
Have it so it's during the day when her working hours, so we don't have to,
Mhm.
Well, that's
She-
Are you gonna be away?
this rest of this week.
Yeah.
So I
No,
need to
no.
warn it now because I won't be back.
Well, are you
Just to warn
available to
Yeah.
come?
Yeah, so I need to know
Earlier
tonight
in the
because
day?
I've gotta do it tonight.
Okay.
Are you all available to be here earlier in the day on Monday, April 23rd, if necessary?
Yes.
Not Monday.
What?
Not Monday.
Not Monday.
I mean, 6 is fine.
What about you?
Yeah?
What about you?
well, if she can't hear
I
it,
am
it'll be here.
available.
So we'd have a quorum
Yeah,
if Shelley couldn't make it.
okay. So what time would you like that?
It doesn't matter, I mean, 6 is fine with me, I just need to know one way or another. The time doesn't matter to me.
Okay,
Just
but we
know
have
what
to
it is.
decide that now, so Shannon can warn him. I don't care, I'm available all day. So you are the guys who are working, what works for
It
you.
doesn't bother me, whatever time, but like Shelley can't be here until 6, we'll have it at 6.
You want to wait till 6?
Can you be here at 6?
Yes.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, I just can't be here earlier. I have other commitments.
Okay, so you can be here at 6?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's leave it at 6 then, is that okay?
Whatever.
Jay, can you be here at 6?
Should be fine.
Okay. Okay, so, we have a motion, do we have a second?
I second it.
Okay, so all those in favor of postponing, accepting the bid until our special meeting on Monday, April 23rd at 6 PM. Please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Okay, the motion passes and we have a meeting April 23rd, 6 PM, just to discuss truck bids. And everybody should come prepared with the information that we will get. Shannon, how are we going to get
I
copies?
just scanned it and I emailed it to everybody, so it
Oh,
should be.
okay, thank you so much. Okay. So this is postponed till 4/23, 6 p.m. Okay. I'm sorry that we have to do this, but we all have to be apprised of this apparently. Okay, moving on to administrative assistance report,
We
please.
have excavator bids first. Excavator bids?
Mhm.
No.
That's the one with
The excavator bids, Jay's gonna go over them.
I'm sorry, excavator bids. We're back to road bids. Okay, Jay?
I don't have a copy with me, but we pieced that together from several different specs and to try to get the enough gallons flow on the hydraulics and so forth to run the mulcher, the horsepower, the weight. And so then at least everybody should be bidding on the same thing. So we won't end up with somebody bidding a lighter machine or, so,
And there were some attachments or something to this too?
yep, it's a mulcher for the brush cutting.
So
The very end
there
was the attachments.
attachments, a pin grabber, coupler, tilting, ditching bucket, and a bolt.
Yep, it comes with 2 buckets and then the mulcher was the other thing we added.
Who is the person, it says completed bids to be submitted by a person authorized to represent the bidder. And that's from each company. And then, and the bids will be opened on May 7th at 3 p.m.
That was, Shannon put that in.
Okay, so that
She
will
took them
be,
and kind of rewrote them into a little more,
yeah, so that will have to be a special meeting for select board.
no,
No, that's
that's
a regular select board meeting.
the bids have to be in before your meeting and then you'll have that meeting that night.
Then you
Oh, okay.
open them that night.
Okay,
By 3 o'clock, yeah. And this is a lease purchase,
Yep.
so that means you're just releasing it for,
Well, it should have said lease or purchase.
Or
because we
purchase.
didn't-
I don't think the lease is a good deal. I mean, that thing that Caterpillar told us that the 32,000 for 10 years, that's 320,000 bucks. I mean, I've checked out some of these lately and you can buy them for about 170,000
ooh,
set up. And that'd be paid off in 5 years. You know, I mean, for one thing, I don't think it doesn't really make sense for the town to lease a rig. You know, unless you're gonna just lease it for a month or 2 and then send it back. Because you don't have no tax credit, you know, you don't get no tax breaks for rentals.
But we don't anyways.
No,
Huh?
We don't
The
get
town,
that.
that's what I said, it doesn't make no sense for the town to even.
Right, but what it is the town has to keep their borrowing down, so when we have a flood or we can actually borrow all the money we need. And we've borrowed so much for some of the other equipment because the capital plan wasn't in place that you don't want to be borrowing all this money because then when we have another flood, we won't be able to borrow the money.
we don't have
I can't
enough.
see paying double for it just because.
No. But that's, trying to think what the price was. I know the mulcher was 35,000, but I can't remember what the total was if you were to just buy them outright.
What would be the cost if it was rented
It,
as needed?
we would rent it for the whole summer because of weather. We would use it for the whole summer and that came out to, I think it was ended up being very close to that payment. So it makes more sense to have it purchased.
So for a one-time payment, are you talking about, is that what you're saying, the payment?
You pay it once a year.
32,000 every year for 10 years on a lease.
Okay, 32,000.
Well, I said, that's a friggin' lot of money. I mean, you're doubling the cost of the machine. You know, town borrow or not, it'd be cheaper to borrow because the town can borrow money so damn cheap anyways, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, you'd be a lot smarter to buy it, and as far as, if not, you're gonna pay double the amount of money for the
Leasing
same
is
work.
not a good idea, cost-wise.
I mean, if you're gonna just use it for a month and then send one back, then you'll lease it and it costs you about $6,000 a month to rent it.
We'll just ask the vendor to provide what various purchase use options they have available. Purchase, lease, rent,
Rent?
so we can
Yeah.
see and
Now,
make a
but
decision.
the town gets their money a lot cheaper than
Oh, yeah,
you get
absolutely.
it from
Yeah.
one of the vendors.
Yeah, I've talked to a couple different outfits on these things too, and I mean, one of the guys actually wanted to know if we could look at a demo with a lot, you know, would the money be a lot lower and all this stuff, and then, you know, something they demoed out for a machine.
Oh, yeah,
You know,
yeah.
and I said, originally when we first started looking at something like this, when we brought it up and I was talking to Christopher about it, and I brought it up one time to Todd, and we were talking about looking at a used machine because these machines, you can buy them so damn cheap. Because, you know, what it is, a lot of construction outfits or different things to get them. You know, they're not like an excavator where they're out here in the middle of the woods digging stuff. They're on blacktop most of the time or a road. They don't get the abuse like a regular excavator does. And when you pick them things up for $40,000, $50,000 used a lot of times. But then
Yeah.
they switch it over to this and this, but I mean, I can't see paying rent on one of them if it's gonna cost you twice the amount of money. I'd rather go get the loan on it.
Well, with a used one, you're not gonna get warranty unless you can buy it separately, you know, some
Well,
sort
like the
of a
demo, you
service
still get the
agreement.
full
But
warranty.
with a
Maybe a
demo,
symbol.
you might have something left
Yeah.
over on it.
And it probably,
Well, they should come, if it's a demo unit, it should come with a fresh warranty.
and we tried out a cat last fall. I mean, the other guys all wanted to bring theirs around to try them too, so I'd recommend, that's what I told Jay the other day, they had something for a week, so take and try it. That way you know which ones you really like.
What is the price of purchasing when you're saying that the lease is 32,000 a year for 10 years?
It's 320 grand. And
Sorry, what?
that's 320,000.
Yeah,
But
so
that's
what
not
is
the-
it, if you buy it?
If you buy it,
Purchase
no,
price.
it's not the price.
No, if you buy it, the
Yeah.
ones I had priced on are roughly about 170, 175,000.
Is there anything available from the state and military surplus?
Not that would meet what we're trying to do with it.
Okay,
We get emails from stuff, a lot of it's overseas too,
yeah.
so you gotta pay to get it
Wow.
Well, it's got rubber tires.
right overseas. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't have a problem with a demo unit, even one that was lightly used.
If you are
Another
leasing,
thing,
I'm sorry,
on,
if you are leasing, do you also, a truck, do you also have to buy gap insurance the way a private person has to buy it if they're leasing a car,
I don't think they have that.
which is an extra insurance payment? You know about gap insurance?
Yeah, but
Yes,
this,
I do.
this I think is,
No, I'm just
It's covered.
asking in terms of, well,
Well-
do we know that?
With
Right, it
a
all has
lease,
to be.
with a lease, there is no difference. You just pay the lease price.
No, I know,
But
but,
with a purchase,
no, I know.
okay.
But when you,
You still have
when
to
a
have
private
insurance.
person,
Yeah.
when you lease a car,
Yeah, I
instead
sold
of
cars.
buying it. Okay, so did you buy gap insurance?
For me, I did.
You did, yeah, so that's, okay, so that's extra. That's in addition to your regular insurance.
Yes.
but I believe our town insurance covers all of our rolling stock.
Well, that's what I'm asking about.
Well, I mean, that's just regular.
It's not regular insurance, it's an
No,
addition.
gap is a difference between of what you owe and what the value of the
The
car
product
is.
is
or
when you send it
product
back.
is.
Yep.
No, I know what it is,
Yeah.
but it's an additional insurance.
I don't know if you can get gap insurance on heavy equipment. I've never heard of such a thing.
I know, I'm asking, I have no idea.
I
don't
mean,
buy
on a
big
car you
trucks.
can,
I don't buy big trucks to drive.
and, you know, construction vehicles, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that all of this is covered under our state VLCT policies and the town's policies. Because how could you have a town operating heavy equipment without liability insurance?
But that's liability, this is something
That's
different.
Well, this is
That's
value.
different.
This is valuation, you
But this
know,
is, that's really
cost
that's really what we're most concerned about is liability.
No, I understand that.
well, she was just thinking as far as the lease car.
No, at least if you had,
Least you
if
don't
you
need it.
leased it, you'd have to have assurance value of that machine.
Right.
You know, so if they put a value of $200,000, you're gonna have to cover it for
Oh, yeah.
$200,000.
Yeah, just for coverage, the liability.
But
And not for payment.
you'd also want to have this on standby in the winter too, as an extra plow.
No, you mean the excavator?
Yeah,
No, it'd be more for, I mean, like this last storm where we could have used one going one direction, the backhoe going another, cleaning
Yeah.
trees and stuff. Yep.
One of the things, like I said, when we first started talking about buying something like this,
yes.
the idea of it was with that mowing head. I mean, like the backhoe, you know, to do the regular maintenance and the ditching and stuff like that, you know, and, the mowing head, the thing about that is you put it on, it'll reach 20-some feet up a bank or 20 feet down over the guardrails.
Yeah.
So you could be able to mow a lot of our brushes. And that was the idea of the whole mowing head and all that stuff. I mean,
Does that excavator have a mowing head on it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, okay,
it's all in the specs.
okay. Well, I know there's a lot of ditching with the roadways that need to be taken care of. And they, when I went to that meeting, they had suggested that the excavator is gonna be the right machine for it versus a ditching machine or et cetera. So what they had suggested was you know, pair up with another town and rent, you know, a excavator to use it, you know. I've talked to Jay a little bit about it. It doesn't always work, you know, because things don't get,
I didn't notice in the spec too, did it call for that knuckle boom?
It's, we found that the actual straight, because what we have is a Wainwright swivel. The ditching bucket actually has the swivel to it and not the straight bucket. And they said it's a much stronger connection. So we have that on the backhoe and it tends to be a little sloppy.
No, I'm talking about on the excavator. It's got like a 3-position boom, right?
Oh yes, it's a VA boom they call it.
Where it comes up,
Yep.
bends again and bends again.
That way you can dig right alongside you.
Well, like on the narrow dirt roads, you can get right
Right.
beside it.
yeah, yeah.
And that's in the, that's in here?
What you normally have to use a grate all for?
Well, you put a great all bucket on it, but you know, it's got a swivel in the bucket and
It's got
you got like a rotary thing that turns them and stuff. But I do say, I mean, if you had to try these other ones out, I just didn't see you try them for, they all said they'd demo, might as well
Another
demo.
week or two, it should be clear enough to do some stuff with it.
I mean, once you buy it, it's a huge expense, right, to the town.
But I think, like I said, I think what we should be looking at is between the rent and the purchase. I think you'll find it's gonna be a lot cheaper to purchase and paid off in half the time.
Would it be the possibility, excuse me, possibility of being able to rent out that machine that we purchased to other towns? Is that a possibility?
Isn't that?
I don't know.
I'm just
You
thinking-
don't wanna get into
Don't get
that.
into that much, you know.
Yeah.
It's not something you want just everybody hopping in.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, even like right here in this town, I mean, you go and put one guy and if it's, learns how to really run it and let him
Yeah.
run it, you know.
Yeah. Lease the machine and the guy to the other town. Make some money.
Well, we do swap equipment back and forth. I don't know that do we swap anything that capital intensive back and forth?
We do the dump trucks.
Yeah.
I
Your
mean, with the
driver
operator.
stays, right.
Yeah.
Right.
And if Dummerson called and said they needed a excavator, then we make it available. But that doesn't help the taxpayer.
No,
That's,
unless you charge for it.
well, I don't know how they set up that mutual aid between the towns or not.
Right.
Typically, it's, I need this today, you're gonna need something tomorrow.
Right. No, I know. But I know that Jay's tried to do that and it's kind of not really worked.
It works with Dummerston as far as they do the leaf blowing in the fall for us, and then we did some trucking for them. And so forth.
It all pays out.
Yeah, and that's what they were saying at the conference was that, you know, you don't even have to exchange money, it's really just, you know, exchanging service.
So, there's nothing that we have to vote on with this
No.
tonight.
Shannon's looking at the specs to see if she
It
put it.
says or, lease or purchase.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, for,
yeah, unless I missed it in one of the
Yeah, it's
pages.
not on the quoting requirements and information sheet.
Like I said, let them do it both ways, and then we decide how,
Oh.
what's the best way to do it.
The last page?
No, second page that I have.
under which,
It's under quoting requirements and information on the second page.
Oh. Which number?
Number 1.
Oh. Okay. So that
That's
should
what
say
I found.
Or,
Yeah, for the
oh, it
lease or
says to
purchase
lease
of a new,
purchase.
yeah, okay, so on page 2, it just says, I missed one.
So you want to change
Yeah, just-
that the intent would be to lease
Or
and or
purchase.
to purchase,
And/or.
depending on what the better deal is.
which is
No, not
has already
and or,
written.
because we don't want to do both,
No,
just or.
Oh, yeah, okay, just or. Okay,
it's the way it's already written.
okay.
Yeah, so there's just, on page 2, there's a correction because I forgot one.
Page 2,
That was the one I found.
Or page, sorry, 3.
Yeah.
where is that?
Well, it's actually on the second page if you just open up your bid to the second page. And it says quoting.
Fingers are not working.
Let me see that.
Sheet of paper.
Right here.
I meant to.
No, I saw
Lease or
that.
pur- Okay.
Yeah, because
No,
that's
that's
a lease
what I was
purchase.
Yeah,
We just
Yes,
need or.
lease or purchase.
I emailed you that?
Okay,
It
it
doesn't
doesn't
say
say
Did you
or.
go ahead and
Yeah.
Send it out.
Or.
That's
Just
what I'm
change
saying.
Page 3.
That's what I just confirmed.
so do we
We're on the
need,
same page now.
So it's to lease or purchase.
Correct.
Okay, the word or then was missing. Right.
Yep.
do we
Okay.
need to review, or I'm sorry, to approve the
Sure.
spec?
Yeah, if you
For
want to make a
bidding?
motion to send it out, that's,
You need more review on it, or are we ready to approve this for distribution? That's what the agenda says, review and approve.
Do you have the email line for the person that you were talking to?
Huh?
Do you have the email for them? So we can
Yeah, I
send
got
it
it,
to
I was gonna give it to you.
To review and approve the
I got it here,
bid. Is that
text
what
it
you're
to me.
asking?
As written.
You don't have to
Sending
do
it
that.
Yeah, the
out.
written
Yeah.
bid. Yes.
It's right here, you guys
Okay.
can grab it from there.
So can you make a motion?
Sure.
Get it from your farm.
Motion to approve as corrected, the Town of Newfane, Vermont invitation to bid for a lease or purchase of a wheeled hydraulic excavator and attachments.
Okay,
I'll second it.
okay. Any further discussion about this? So people have until May 7th at 3 PM to submit bids, and the bids will be looked at that evening in select board meeting. And the bids will, the highest, the best bid will win.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So now, thanks a lot, Jay. You did a lot of work for this
Yes.
meeting. Thank you, and you spent a lot of
It's-
time here too tonight.
It's that time of year, when you stop shoveling, then you start writing.
Okay, administrative assistance report now. Shannon, please.
the 50% deposit has been paid on the Brookside sign. Once he received that deposit, he was able to draw a sample, which I've attached. He wanted to note that the font is very close to what he'll be using, but not exact, because he hand letters his signs and the computer doesn't have exactly what he does. But this is very close to the
Yeah.
font.
Looks really nice.
It looks very nice.
It
Um,
does.
He also sent an answer, which is also attached, regarding the weatherproofing,
Yeah,
so that you know it will be protected.
Yeah, that's great.
yeah.
So,
Good thinking.
Is the lettering going to be reflective, or is it,
No, I don't think so.
no, it's
No.
just, it's much like the ones in Newfane Village wood. In
Okay.
paint, yeah. Jay and I attended a conference call with FEMA this afternoon. They introduced us to our public assistance contact person, gave a list of documentation that they'll need me to upload into the system. And then in May, we'll be meeting with him so that I can hand my files over to him so that we can get reimbursed. So today was the startup of it.
And just ask you about,
Yeah.
what does the files have in it?
They need our purchasing policy, they need our insurance information, they want timesheets, contracts, bidding information.
And
Basically,
these are for specific projects that were handled.
yeah,
How many were there? I'm
20, well, there were 22 FEMA projects and there are 3 federal highway projects,
wow,
so, yeah.
that's a lot.
Yes, it is. So I'll be busy in the next couple of weeks. but-
So are they ongoing or they're done?
Nope,
or-
they're done. Now it's
All of
just.
them are done?
Yep, now it's just working with them to get reimbursed, so.
Wow. That was from Irene?
Nope, that was the October 29th and 30th rainstorms.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
There were that many.
All that work's been completed?
Yep.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I came in, December, so I missed
Yeah.
that whole thing.
Yep.
But I do recall damages.
Yeah, so we're starting that process. As we're finishing Irene, we're starting new one, so. Yeah. The Morris Dancers sent me a letter. That's who called at 2 minutes of 6, was to make sure I got the letter. But they're requesting that a portion of West Street be closed on May 27th for their annual dance between 4 and 7 p.m. And they are contacting the Sheriff's Department, but they just need a go-ahead from the select board that it's okay.
So we make a
Well, we can
motion.
make a motion to approve that.
I make a motion to approve the Morris dancers.
Okay,
Second that.
second. Any discussion?
Only
Okay.
if we all get ribbons and bells.
All those in favor of closing the street for the Morris dances, please say aye.
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 Any opposed, say nay. Okay,
Oh, yeah, I think I was just thinking about the sheriff's department, but I guess the village hires sheriffs, so we
Yeah.
hire the state police.
Yeah.
Right.
right.
So I didn't know if it's going through the town, if they'd have to state cops or
I
just let
think
them.
that Morris Dancers actually pay the Sheriff's Department to come.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay,
And then I'll be taking vacation time for the rest of this week. I'll get the minutes of tonight posted tonight.
Thank you
that
so much.
We'll get that, so we don't miss the deadline. Yeah.
okay, Shannon, are we to make a motion to accept this sign now?
You certainly can, yeah.
Is there anybody who would like to make a motion to accept the go-ahead for having the sign made for the Brookside community?
I make a motion to accept the Brookside sign to have it completed.
And
And
Second.
second. Any discussion?
Has it been shown to the members of Brookside community?
Yes,
Okay.
that's who I got it from.
Okay.
Yeah, they're the ones who
Good.
went to the person.
so the other point for further discussion is that we'll need new posts to put the sign up on.
Mhm.
So,
I think we discussed that already, didn't we?
Yeah, I think we did. We
Yeah,
said
we
the
did.
road crew put
We'll
We'll
the,
make
talk
it,
about that.
okay.
Yeah.
The signs, the posts that were there were metal posts, and that's what we use for all our signs, so we can
Oh,
mount it on those.
okay.
We'll just put new posts in.
Okay, all those in favor of accepting the signage to go forward, please say aye.
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 Any opposed, say nay. Okay,
Motion to accept administrative assistance report.
second.
any discussion of that report? Thank you, Shannon, for
Have
the
a nice
report.
vacation, hopefully.
Yes. Go someplace warm. I can give you some
We're
recommendations.
going all the way to Springfield, Mass.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed, say nay. Okay,
Thank
thank
you,
you,
Jay.
Shannon. Thanks, Jay, have a good night. Thanks a lot, Shannon, for the work you did.
Oh, you know.
Okay, scheduled members of the public, the Wiilliamsville Hall Committee is going, that report and meeting is going to
They've
be postponed.
rescheduled, yes.
Yes, rescheduled. We don't have unscheduled members of the public. We do have 2 things under old business. Should we do land sale first since?
Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause
Yeah,
It says
because
here.
you're here.
Yep.
Why don't you come up here, please?
I mean, we'll bring a chair right up, or?
Yes?
There's
Thank
the
you.
Only one here. How's everybody?
Are you gonna be able to see, can you know what, if you could go, yeah, that would be great, this way. People at home can hear you.
Sure.
This is Ed Druk from WW Supply.
So, just to bring you up to date, we're past the petition period, so don't believe there was anything that was closing the sale, so we have, the lawyers have drawn up a, I don't know if you passed that to them.
it's in their packets, yep.
Okay, purchase and sale agreement there, and I would assume if it's good with you, that we move forward with this. And,
You said Shane said that it was all done to, everything was checked out to the lawyer and everything's fine, right?
I haven't heard about the purchase and sales agreement yet, no.
Yeah, that's what we have in our
I know
packet
he's
tonight.
reviewing it.
So we haven't got, he hasn't fed back to us yet?
No, he hasn't.
It said the sale should be closed on or before May 18th. Did it- Oh, May, okay, we're in April. Tax
hopefully,
day.
and again, that, they put a date on there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
No one ever pays any attention to those.
Yeah. But, saying that, I would love to get this done and squared away, and
Sure.
You can move on.
we can move on and go from there. The things that have to be done on there is the survey of the property, which next week, the 23rd, surveyor's coming to start that work. The second week of May, he told me he expects to have that finished on there, so you'll have that to approve on there. Other than that, the only other thing that you have to do as a town is to do a permit for subdivision.
Yes.
That'll come through DRB.
Does it need to go through the yard?
It does, because it's commercial, I guess. So Merle looked at it today, he said he does need to put it through to the DRB because it's commercial.
And we have a meeting coming up soon.
So he actually also said I need to have the survey before I can apply for the subdivision permit, because he needs to see that.
Okay,
So I have it all filled out, I just need that.
so it's just a matter of,
So just conveying the land over to another piece of property, that still has to go through that thing? Well, I'd make a motion to sign the purchase and sales agreement tonight.
I think we're still waiting on the attorney.
Yeah, the
Yeah, he
attorney
hasn't
reviewed it.
got
They
back
ain't
to
marked
me
it
yet.
up yet.
yeah.
So when's supposed to?
Can we table
happen?
this to
Same
time,
night.
to this meeting?
The 23rd?
Do it on that date if we have the feedback from, who's it, Chris?
But you would
Rich-
like, but
Rich
you would
Church.
like it done earlier.
Yep, I mean, 23rd of,
Or next,
April.
next Monday.
We're
The
here.
survey,
Oh, the next
Yeah.
month, oh, but
Yeah.
on the special
and the
meeting.
survey's
Yeah.
gonna be done on the 23rd.
well, they're gonna start
No,
at
Or
the
start at it, I
23rd.
mean, and
But I
the-
guess we just need to know what he needs, because if he just needs the measurements to.
Well, he needs a drawing, so, I mean, of the, yeah.
So, I might be able to get you that from David Cotton,
Okay.
because they were
And he'll
working
know if
on
it's
getting
okay
a,
with it.
not official, but I mean, it has to be an acre, we all agree on that.
Mhm.
It has to meet zoning. From what I have measured, the frontage here, it has to be 90 feet. I measured it as 95 to where I would like the line to start. So that falls under zoning. I don't see any hangups with any of that, because we just adjust the line to make the 1 acre work.
And David would know if that drawing would be sufficient. so.
He has all the measurements for the piece of property, and he said that Eric could take it and do the square footage and figure it
Yeah,
out
figure it
pretty
out.
darn close to where that's gonna
Okay.
be. Again,
That'll probably
the
suffice.
surveyor has to
Yeah.
do it officially,
Yeah.
Right,
you know, so you have an actual map of what you have and
Right.
everything like that. And you will have that by the second week of May, from what I understand from him. He's on vacation this week, he couldn't start this week, but,
Okay.
so he will start Monday.
so
So
he
then,
withdrawing
But I
would
mean,
be
To,
good.
to wait to signing this, I agree, you should hear back from
Hear
Rich.
back from Rich.
Again, it's Rich in Fisher's office that has talked to
Yeah.
have her do that, but
Yeah.
again, until you officially hear that, I would agree that you wait till then.
Right.
To
But
sign.
now Shannon, if we are meeting on next week on Monday, and you're leaving tomorrow for vacation, you want to get this sent out to Rich Carroll, is that my understanding?
Well, he has it.
He
so-
has it, but
Yeah.
so then he just, will you contact him and say that we're having a special meeting next Monday night?
Mhm.
That we can have it signed by then? Okay, great. Thank you. Okay, so, did you make a motion already?
I'm not sure.
We can
But I
keep-
will
Would you start again?
table till time certain, consideration of the WW Building Supply land sale.
Okay,
And the time certain is April 23rd.
April
The
20th.
purchase and sales agreement specifically?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Reviewed by the lawyer.
Okay, is there a second, please?
A second.
Okay. Any further discussion? Okay, all in favor of signing, of waiting till April 23rd and then having Ed to come in that evening of our special meeting and we can sign the purchase and sale agreement. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Okay, the ayes have it, and we will do that next Monday.
Okay.
6 o'clock.
And then also, in the meantime, the select board needs to appoint an agent to act on their behalf to sign all paperwork having to do with this.
Mhm.
So you can do that now.
Okay. Can somebody make,
Oh, with
Nope.
the chair.
Yeah.
Yeah. sure.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll make a
Mary, you-
motion that Marion would be.
We're gonna vote on everything,
Yeah.
and then you're just
Yeah.
gonna sign it.
Exactly. It's just somebody at the
One
closing who
person.
can sign.
yeah,
Yeah.
So I make a motion that Marion is our agent for final signature on the contract,
All closing documents.
all closing documents.
any second?
I'll second.
Okay. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye?
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Okay. So I will act as agent and signing on that evening. Okay. Is that it?
Any other questions you guys have?
And you'll be here, Ed, right?
I will be
Good.
the 23rd.
23rd.
Yeah. Okay, then. And the meeting starts at 6. We have one item that we'll do first.
So it'll be right off.
That's okay?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Good. Thank you very much for
Great,
coming,
thanks, Ed.
and this is,
Again, a little bit more information. The building right here should be down tomorrow.
Oh my
Oh.
goodness.
Really?
Wow.
So,
Have you already applied for the permit for the other one, stuff about the main?
no, nothing can be done until we have that piece of
The
property.
DRB.
But you can
Again.
take the building.
It's such a good
The building,
idea.
it's on my land.
Yeah, yeah.
What's that?
It's gonna fall down, we don't tear it
I
down.
said it's such a good idea to pull it completely down until you have, you know,
At this point.
we just cement the ground at least.
It shows forward progress. Progress
I mean-
is a good thing.
I have a year on it, no matter what, so.
No matter what, you got all right back in there, most of the other.
Plus, you know,
Maybe
have you guys, you know, I've heard nothing negative myself about anything that's
Nothing.
going forward, so,
I've heard nothing.
you know.
I don't
that's
think
a-
we were allowed to.
Been one person.
But we can listen to people who just don't
You got one
respond.
person?
Oh,
Yeah.
you can't respond.
But Shannon said she
Yeah,
had
your
no.
response
what
is,
do
if
you call
you
it,
have
complaining
something
about
to
it.
say,
It's been
come
you
posted,
call
so-
Shannon, come here to a meeting. You understand you're just talking to a resident now
That's a good
because we're
thing.
not
Yeah.
sitting five as a board. That's all you have to say,
Oh, okay.
for anything that happens.
I know nothing.
So we.
No,
reviewed
you
the
don't know
question?
nothing. You listen and
Oh, I
you
can
say you
listen.
cannot make any judgment, opinion, or tell them what to do unless you're sitting with the rest of the board.
Yeah. Can we move the question? Get
Yes,
this off.
okay. Move the question.
Yeah.
We
What's
already
that mean?
voted.
We
Did
did,
vote?
we voted.
We finished on that motion? All right.
Yes.
We're ready for the next one. Get
Okay.
that out of here so you can go have some dinner.
Thank you, guys.
Thank
Thanks,
you,
Ed.
thank
Yeah.
you, Ed. Okay, the next old business is the Manitou land donation offer. So, everybody on the board should have received a copy of the letter
Yeah.
or have it in writing right now. That was sent out by my mayor
Yep.
on behalf of the Mayor Family Irrevocable Trust. And I've asked Shannon if you could read that letter aloud for us and for the public, please.
Yes, I can. Dear Select Board members, in anticipation of your upcoming meeting, I'd like to provide a status update on the proposed MFIT, Mayor Family Irrevocable Trust, land donation to the town as follows. The MFIT trustees are sensing the town's ambivalence surrounding its acceptance of the land donation under discussion, evidenced by proceedings of the March 19th Select Board meeting. After much conversation, it's clear to all three trustees that in memory of our parents, David and Pamela Mayer, and in acknowledgement of their primary roles in forming the MFIT land assemblage, it's of critical importance that for this to be a successful transaction, there must be unequivocal buy-in on the part of Newfane, which would resonate and reflect our parents' philosophical belief system. As a result of this recognition, MFIT trustees have begun to explore alternative donor recipients while still keeping the concept of public access very much a part of the equation. We seek a path that would both best serve the public and maintain harmony amongst those living in our Newfane community. We will keep you apprised of any new and definitive developments as we continue to educate ourselves on these alternative options. Thank you for your understanding and patience. Mike Mayer on behalf of the Mayer Family Irrevocable Trust.
Okay, thank you for reading that.
What's the exploring alternatives? What's that?
He's looking for other people to
Options.
donate the land to.
But the question is, as well, still keeping the concept of public access very much a part of the equation, and then keeping us apprised is,
So the public access is important to the meeting that we had with Vermont Land Trust. One of the things we learned is that public access is very important
oh,
in their, their beliefs. And so they need to keep that because in order to stay compliant, public access is an important thing.
I think we talked about that. We had no problem with public access.
Right. Well, if the town had it, it would automatically be public
Yeah.
access.
Yeah.
Which was something Vermont Land Trust was excited about, but.
So it sounds like they've taken the deal off the table?
It's,
They're exploring other options, I guess, is the way to,
Okay, so there's no action required by us?
No.
no.
Okay.
Okay.
so it's done. We're not looking at this in the future.
I mean, they could come back in the future and say, we didn't find other donors, are you still interested? So,
Right now, he's
but
looking
at
for-
this moment, I would say,
Okay, I just didn't know what the clarity of it was, you know.
Okay. We don't have to make a motion about this, do we? No. Okay. Okay. New business, Wyndham Regional Commission Agreement for Town Plan Update.
yes.
And we need a signature, and I think it's Gary who's, did you say you need Gary's
No,
signature?
yours.
All of us?
No, just you.
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. You said something earlier about you wanted Gary's signature on something?
Oh, yeah, I have a few things that he had voted on while he was gone
Yeah.
for signature,
Yeah.
but didn't get to sign them, so.
Okay,
Oh,
good,
Yeah,
okay.
so that's not. So this is the agreement between Wyndham Regional Commission and the town of Newfane for them to assist the planning commission on the town plan. And it was voted on at the last meeting that the planning commission was at. She just didn't have this for you to sign.
Right.
So, that's all, just a housekeeping
Is
thing.
there money involved in that?
Yes, it's being paid for through a grant, but.
Oh, okay, gotcha. That's good.
Mhm.
What are we, April 17th?
Texting.
Okay, thank you, Shane.
You're welcome.
Last item under new business is the Wiilliamsville traffic issue, and that is related to, in response to the letter that we got from the gentleman last week, right?
Yep. the last
And
meeting.
supposedly he was going to come here tonight, but you
I
didn't hear from
invited
him.
him to
Yeah.
come. We just said we'd put it on the next agenda, so I
Right.
did. And I did send him a letter letting him know that it would be on the agenda for discussion.
Well, we did say we're going to discuss it, whether he was here or not, though.
Right.
So has anybody had time to think about how we're going to deal with these traffic issues in Williamsville?
Where is the traffic issue?
Yeah, what are we talking about?
Specifically.
Oh, you know what, you had to hang up at the bridge.
Yes, I lost you guys.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it was a letter from a resident in Williamsville talking about the fact that it's very dangerous in the roads in Williamsville for people to walk on because the traffic speeds so much, going from the ski areas home or going from home to the ski areas. And it's not anything new, but it's a new complaint and a request that we deal with this somehow. So,
And we have discussions about the signage at the bridge.
There is signage already defined for the bridge as part of the bridge's
Right.
construction and traffic light.
and what Chris was saying and other people were saying who use those roads is that apparently the signs are ignored or people are not paying attention to the signs and they just speed
Right.
through it, they don't stop, right?
I think there's like two separate things coming at the bridge, and then also traffic just driving
Yeah.
crazy out.
They do both ways. They don't care what's coming from Grimes Hill. They don't stop at that sign, they go right in front of you and come the other way, they go right in front of you. They don't care.
You know, I've seen
And just,
while we're traveling, there's a whole new trend toward these signs that have like LEDs on the outside and they flash. So as you approach, for example, a stop sign, it flashes
yeah,
around it, so you notice that the stop sign is there. And it's all a compliance issue, because we don't really have the staff to go out there and enforce it by saying, wait a minute, you didn't yield for someone coming across the bridge. But you need to remind people that this is there and try to get them to remember that they're in a small town.
and they're driving the car.
They've had,
Yeah,
they've had, all those things they put across the road for checking speed and stuff.
yes,
3 or 4 times in Williamsville.
yeah.
And they haven't,
That's not.
yeah, a few people have gone faster, but most of them, they're all right.
Yeah.
Did you ever
Oh, really?
have a speed bump there or
We ain't put
discussed it?
you
no
can't.
speed bump,
You're not
no
allowed to
way.
put speed bumps in.
Don't we have, I
On
heard you
highway.
guys say that, and I've seen it.
Oh, it's a
used
highway.
in-
Yeah.
Used in South Wardsboro Road recently that
Yeah.
slowed down.
The
Yes.
sign, yeah.
Right?
They've had that up over there.
It was in Williamsville at one point, and I
Yeah.
think it works until they take it away, and then
Yeah,
you have to put it back.
it's a reminder, it's really.
Yeah.
Well, the thing with it is, the speed limit is 25.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's pretty damn hard to go 25. You're gonna roll along 30, you know, a lot of people.
yeah.
25 is pretty damn slow. And I said, it isn't that you can't control it at 30 or whatever else. And Cause like I said, down at that bridge, I don't care how many stop signs you put up, you're still gonna have somebody shoot through.
Oh, yeah.
You know, you might, you put all the signage you want up, it's not gonna stop them, you know?
Yeah.
No, we gotta stop it, you had a cop sitting right there 24 hours a day. you know?
Right.
And, well, I mean, weren't we gonna put one of our new signs
There you
somewhere
go.
in that area? Or is
Yeah,
it
that's
already
the
up?
one, yeah,
in there.
and we move it to different locations, so it's been there and then it went to
Blinking
South
one, right?
Wardsboro. Yep,
Yeah.
it flashes at you. Maybe it's time to put it back for a bit.
Well, ski season's over with,
Yeah,
But
now
still,
it may not be such an issue, but,
yeah.
We do have another problem in Wiilliamsville that has to do with traffic.
Mhm.
People that go to the eatery,
Mhm.
they park, well, be going up on the left-hand side of Newfane Hill, Timpson Hill Road.
Yeah.
There's no parking there. That's the road.
Yeah.
And they just park there.
Anyway. Alongside the building going up the Timpson.
If they're out alongside the building, that's the building, they have a right
You
to
signed
park
up the
there.
opposite side.
Yeah.
On the opposite side.
Oh,
You
On
come
the
down from Newfane Hill, and here's 2 or 3 cars parked there in the road.
Mhm.
There needs to be a no parking sign put
On the
up there,
corners.
on the corners there.
Good.
Just on one side. The other side, it's,
The other thing weren't Jay was looking at fixing too is that manhole.
yeah,
That
that's.
thing's sunk down about 10 inches, you know, that diverts.
You know how
people.
long I've lived in Wiilliamsville?
Been like that.
And it's been like that. And every time you go through Wiilliamsville, you'll meet a car right there and end up driving in that damn thing.
Swerve around it or something.
Yeah.
As I say, I think maybe, I was almost looking at that the other day, if that was fixed even, and the shoulder brought back up, that'd give people a little bit more of a spot, you know, even between there and the Grange, you know.
I think you find when you go to do anything there, you're gonna find everything rusted out. That was put in before 1956, when they blacktopped the road. That was dirt until 56.
What is that, a metal culvert in there,
Yeah.
or is it a manhole?
Metal culvert. Metal culvert with a,
Grate on it.
yeah.
I know the traffic calming has been in that portion of the town plan forever.
Oh, they came years ago on to put islands. and,
Yep, yep.
You know, everything like that and stuff, it just, you know, that is a, it's not wide enough for one thing.
I think I think that if you have something there that says, you know, you're entering a village and you pay that off with the way that the streets are laid out with plantings and islands on the sides of the street, sort of like they are on West Street, then it breaks the traffic up and they notice these things and they slow down. That's what traffic calming is supposed to do. Signage can help, but if people are determined not to redesign, then they're gonna go right through. Especially there at the bridge where it says yield on one side and stop on the other.
You ever tried to plow West Street with those damn curbs in there?
No, that's
You ought to
Marion's,
try it.
it's Marion's fault.
Yeah, it's my fault. Just blame me for everything. It's okay. You ever tried parking on West Street?
yeah.
People
No, it's
get
not
so,
wide enough to anymore.
so confused, people get so confused as to which areas you're allowed to park in. And that, really, because it goes in and out.
Yeah.
And then, you know, if somebody parks in front of my house after I moved out of New York City because I couldn't find parking, and then I see a car in front of my house, I say, that is a big nerve. But that's a joke, because that's where you're allowed, like it starts at my house, down to the corner. On the other side of the street, it starts almost at Klaus's, no, wait,
Yeah.
what is this? Yeah, at Klaus's house.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very confusing, and a lot of people, you know,
Some fun going up through there with your trailer, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, with a trailer full of logs, swerving in and out like a snake,
Terrible.
and the jake brake. So, back to Williamsville, is there anything that we can do at this point?
I think the only thing you can do is just keep maintaining the signs that you got there and,
Yeah.
like I said, you know, they got the speed limit at 25, I think probably most people, they go on 30 or so, you know, I don't think fly into there. I mean, they might go a little bit faster when they come out of that covered bridge up there or something. But
You said that they've had like those speed things on it, and you said it wasn't crazy fast that they noticed, just occasionally.
Yeah, a couple of years ago, must have been 2 years ago they were put in there.
Were these the traffic counters or
Yeah,
the band that goes across the road? It goes click, click every time you run over it?
Yeah,
Okay.
camera.
Yeah.
Just a counter versus speed.
Well, it counts
It
speed
does.
too.
Oh, it does
Yeah,
count speed
both.
too?
Counts traffic and how fast it goes
Oh,
over.
okay. Yeah. I mean, I think the more it looks like a village, the more people will slow down.
I
I
mean,
don't
part
know,
of the
it
thing is
seems-
just
I
have
don't
Jay
know.
once in a while
They're just
throw that
saying the
sign out there
history.
again.
yeah.
Of living here for
Moving
years
around more.
doesn't seem that there's been much change.
Yep.
That this has been an ongoing complaint for years and years.
I forget how many plates
And I
they
think
have.
sometimes too, when you,
The
it's
hands on.
congested right in the middle of the village. I think sometimes when you're walking and there's no sidewalk, it feels like 25 is faster than
Yeah.
25 actually is.
Yes.
If you're in a car, 25 feels really slow, but when the car's coming at you, I think it feels faster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
But they were also talking about as you
Perception.
get out past and then into like Brookside area and all that.
That's always been,
I think I was kind of curious about it. What's that bicycle with the cones and the,
somebody made them remove it, it wasn't. the
no,
town.
like a body painted on the road?
Yeah, they had a chalk
The one
outline.
that has complained the most about speeding, that drives through the stop signs, is the one that puts it there, that lives right there.
Yeah, I thought
Someone
that
drew
really.
a spray painted a
She's done
chalk
it
outline
before.
of a kid and like took parts of a bicycle and laid it like just on
It's
the
like
edge of
somebody
the
run over a kid
road.
on a bike.
Oh, I think I've seen something like that.
And
An
then I
art
noticed it was
installation.
removed and the spray paint was covered over, so I don't know if maybe law enforcement came and asked them to get rid of it, but
This person has done it before there.
yeah, it's gone now.
Nothing new.
So there's- right now, we don't have any solution.
I mean, I can email Jay and just suggest that he get, move the sign back over there for
Yeah,
that.
I mean,
Right.
does it have a schedule of being places?
I don't think we have a real set schedule, so.
I have to bring it back every so often, tragic.
Yeah,
Maybe we should outline, decide on what streets it needs to be on and
we
move
did do
it.
that. We have 4 different locations for it, so. I think some of the issue was getting new signposts for it because it has to be a certain height and some of the signposts weren't gonna work, so. And then it was winter and plowing and sanding was more of a priority, so.
Yeah.
We bought two, right?
No, we just have the one.
I thought we were buying two.
No, they were expensive.
They were expensive.
That's why you move them back and forth, move it back and forth.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe we could budget for another one.
No, I think we should
Yeah.
try to, I mean, we don't really have any mechanism to try to deal with traffic, other than the stadies are with the sheriff.
Right.
And when it comes to Wiilliamsville and South Newfane, all we can really do is try to work with signage.
Right.
Yeah, because really Brookside really hasn't had it there yet.
No.
And it would be a great location, so if we, during budgeting, can add that.
Yeah, I think we should be looking at
Another
adding
one
one or
would be
two of
great.
these each year until we get
Mm-hmm.
some control over what we have.
Yeah.
It's not changing stuff, there's nothing even on the agenda like that, but it's talking about signage and different things like that. I was noticing the other day, which, I thought Jay and them were doing a great job after that brush, when that wind, they're out there tackling the brush and cleaned it right up. But, you got the guys running the chipper and the saws and had 2 guys directing traffic, right? They make this thing, I looked at them one time, and overall, it really paid for itself. If they gotta have guys like each end trying to direct traffic and stuff. They had their portable streetlights.
Yeah.
And they
So,
set them right up, they come right, you got a little trailer that comes right in it, they're
Yep.
like
Right.
$20-some thousand for the whole setup. And what it is, you come to a place like that, you're working, it sets up here, it's on a timer, and it
Stops
just
it.
stops the traffic from coming and going. And I was thinking about that the other day, just like them guys, when they're cutting, where they were cutting like that and stuff like that, if you had something like that, the 2 guys that are making X amount of dollars, you know, and
Yep.
paying, you know, liability on like that. If you have something like this, you set it up, them two guys, if nothing else, could be running other equipment or helping cut or whatever, and you'd have, you know, you don't have to pay workman's comp on a street light. That's, you know, something like that would almost be a good tool.
Yeah, with DOT allowed.
Oh yeah, they're used all over. I mean, when they use bridges and all that stuff, they're all used, you know. That's what a lot of these outfits do, they rent in things and,
It'd be worth exploring for budget.
Yeah.
there's, you know, like I said, in a couple of years, you'd probably be surprised what it would cost if you kept track of the guy's time.
Oh, it's not, it's very expensive. And if you use police, it's more expensive,
Oh, yeah.
but, you know, you gotta have them. The law says, you
Right.
gotta have somebody there, you gotta have something there.
Okay. So, any further discussion about this? No. Okay, so we will continue looking at, we'll ask Jay to move that sign over for Ron, see if
Move the
that
caution.
works. Yep.
The speed sign.
Doesn't that speed sign keep track of the, when it goes over like the speed limit too? Right then, I thought you said they had a computer readout where it tell you how fast traffic was actually going.
I think it might.
I
Data.
mean, that'd be the thing to do, you set it up here and then you have traffic for a couple of weeks there and just see what the traffic's really flowing through at, and then tell them. When they come complaining, you just say, well, this is what it comes in at, you know?
Does this have a USB port?
Oh,
No.
Yeah, it's
I thought
got
you said that.
something.
When I was looking at
Yeah,
mine.
I mean, Jay can even connect his phone to it.
Yep.
See,
Oh, wow.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a good idea.
Okay, I think we're gonna move on to correspondence. Right? Are we done with that?
You're the chair.
I'm the chair.
We're just the people following, we're the lemmings going over
I'm
the
the
cliff.
chair.
Where are the legs?
Okay, correspondence. We have the spring 2018 issue of the EAP, which is, I wish they said what it
That's the,
was. EAP,
It's the employee assistance program.
yes. But you know what? Normally you would find those words somewhere on the front page, but I don't see it.
Flip it over.
oh, to say what it is,
Yeah,
correct?
Okay.
Instead of just the acronym,
yes.
Oh, it doesn't have. I see
No,
what
it
you're saying.
doesn't.
explanation.
Anyway, it's sheets of information, a sheet of information. This is, in this issue, counseling, a helpful resource for anyone. This is for employees in the town of Newfane or anybody else who would like to take a copy. We will put it on the correspondence tray over there. Is that correct, Janet, or did you change this again?
No, I
You want
usually-
it back?
Somebody from the board usually hands them out to the employees.
Okay.
How about
Okay.
Chris?
What?
Chris? Give me to Chris?
Can I give some of these to the, you? to-
What we normally do is somebody volunteers or gets volunteered, and then we swap it around each time, so that eventually the employees see all of our
Everybody.
smiling faces.
Okay.
Okay,
Well,
well,
then,
Oh,
no, no,
thank you.
he has a
I don't
smiling
mind doing
face.
it.
You want to do it for
Sure.
the others?
You could do the
So
building,
he'll
he can
do the truck, the garage,
yeah.
and all
I'll
you
the
have to
garage.
do is the
Yeah.
people here,
Yeah.
Gary.
The fun place is going to the garage. If the garage wasn't included, I wouldn't have volunteered
I'm
so
gonna
quickly.
trip up to that garage.
Well, you want to go to the garage? Here.
I don't care.
Give it to him.
You want to go?
You wanna go
I'll go by.
both places?
Okay, great.
You do them all.
Okay.
Okay.
So I think we are almost ready to end
Yeah.
this part of the meeting, or not?
Yeah.
Yes? Yes.
I make a motion that we adjourn.
Nope.
No.
No.
No, we're not adjourning.
Oh,
We're
not
saying
adjourned.
good night.
Oh,
And to everybody out there, please be safe with the driving in snow, and we are really hoping to see sunshine and grass soon. But in the meantime, be careful. Good night, everybody.